Last night, during my live recap discussion with James and Amanda, we discussed Season 2, Episode 11, which featured this notorious quote from Cody, which I said aged like milk.
This family's never had a birthday forgotten.
It seems like Cody doesn't make a real effort to acknowledge any of his family members' birthdays anymore, with McKelty revealing that she too did not warrant a call from Cody on her birthday. Cody's nephew Ben continues to react to Season 1 of Sister Wives, and today we are going to discuss another comment Cody made that may have aged even worse than the birthday comment. This is probably the most problematic thing Cody has ever said on Sister Wives. We have a lot to talk about. Let's get into today's video. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Sarah and welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be voiceover commentary, but before we get into today's topic, let's hear from today's video sponsor. You guys, I am so excited to be partnering again with EarthBreeze. EarthBreeze and I, we go way back. Who isn't looking to simplify their lives where they can? Hi, I know I am. And one of my household chores that I have found to be incredibly simply now is laundry, thanks to EarthBreeze. I love to find eco-friendly products that perform just as good, if not better, than what you can find in the store. EarthBreeze gets your clothes clean, you guys. I have an almost 5-year-old, she'll be 5 next week, and a 1-year-old. I am constantly doing laundry, and I just cannot tell you what a pleasant experience it's been using EarthBreeze. EarthBreeze fights everyday stains and odors, giving you an amazing clean every time. Also, for those of us with young kids, EarthBreeze got rid of unnecessary chemicals for a formula that is kind to sensitive skin of all ages, including babies. Unlike liquid, powder, or capsule detergent, EarthBreeze looks like a dryer sheet, but it's ultra concentrated laundry detergent. It could not be easier. Just throw a sheet in with your laundry and watch it dissolve in any wash cycle, hot or cold. The Eco Sheets come packaged in a slim cardboard envelope that saves a ton of space. If EarthBreeze doesn't end up being the 2024 update of your dreams, you don't even have to return it. Just let them know it's not for you and you will get a full refund. No questions asked. Go to earthbreeze.com/squad to get started with 40% off EarthBreeze Eco Sheets. Thank you so much, EarthBreeze, for partnering with me again and for sponsoring this video. Cody's nephew Ben has been reacting to Season 1 of Sister Wives and offering his perspective as someone who grew up in this culture and on the same Wyoming compound as Cody. I know a lot of you don't do TikTok, but I noticed Ben is actually uploading these videos to YouTube now. So check out the description of this video. I will be linking both his TikTok and YouTube for you to follow him on whatever your preferred platform is. At the end of Season 1, Episode 5, Cody utters this comment that really is just a big yikes, in my opinion.
I haven't been told no in a strong enough fashion yet to actually think that it means no yet.
For context, because context is important, Cody says this in regards to Mary turning down his idea to do IVF when he brings it up on their 20th anniversary getaway. Additionally, this episode aired back in 2010. I'm not saying there is a day and age where this sentiment would be acceptable, but I'd like to think that we as a society are trying to evolve from men feeling entitled to these notions. I'm certainly raising my son to do better than this, that is for sure. And I'm not the only one who took issue with this statement. Ben noticed it too, and let's check out what he had to say about it.
Another example of this systemic problem is at the very end when Cody says this really chilling thing, which is, I haven't been told no yet in a strong enough fashion to believe it means no yet. And that is a horrifying statement. Right? That is a horrifying statement, especially coming from a man in America. But it's part of a broader system of violating boundaries that exists in Mormon culture. Because in Mormon culture, there is no boundary that an individual can put to protect themselves that the system cannot override. Because in the system, certain people are in authority over you and represent God, And in the system, God can ask you to do anything, even if it violates your personal boundaries, even if it makes you feel gross and disgusting. In fact, sometimes especially if it makes you feel gross and disgusting, like polygamy, because polygamy is supposed to be really hard. It's supposed to suck. That's why God created it, so that it could wring all of the unrighteousness out of you. Just one example of this from Mormon scripture, the very first story in the Book of Mormon is the story of Nephi and Laban. And in that story, Laban is passed out drunk in an alleyway, and a very young, like teenager Nephi is commanded by God to chop Laban's head off. And he says in the text, he's like, my spirit rebelled. I didn't want to do this, but I knew that I had to. Right? That is a horrifying example of someone in authority overriding your feelings and your boundaries to get you to do something that you don't want to do. And that is the real problem in Mormon culture, not the people. The people need love and compassion and help.
Ben calls this out as a broader problem in Mormon culture of teaching people, but men specifically, that it is okay to violate other people's boundaries. Ben also goes on to explain that the culture that he grew up in conditioned its followers that you almost want to get to the point of seeking out situations that made you feel, as he says, gross and uncomfortable, because that meant you were having all of your unrighteousness wrung out of you. And who are we really talking about here when we talk about being in positions to make themselves feel gross and uncomfortable? It's mostly the women and children. Could you imagine being a teenager and having to plan a birthday party for your dad's new girlfriend like Cody's daughters did when he is still married to your mom's? And if you voice how messed up this seems, your mom presents this as completely normal, even though you kind of get the sense that this is making her die a little inside. Ben explains to us that in the culture that he grew up in, there is no boundary that a person can put in place that the quote system cannot override. Because in the quote system, certain people represent God. And who precisely represents God? Well, that's the husband, the father. He is literally the priesthood holder of his own family. There is no one really to govern or oversee what the priesthood holder is doing, because the priesthood holder is a mouthpiece for God, and questioning the actions or the motives of the priesthood holder would be akin to questioning God, and you definitely don't want to do that. In the system, as Ben explains, you can be asked to do anything on behalf of God, even if it violates your personal boundaries and makes you feel super yucky, like watching your husband impregnate other women, for example. I agree with Ben that the way he grew up is certainly a culture that perpetuates mistreatment of its followers, but I don't think that absolves anyone from their bad behavior. We can recognize Cody as being a victim of the culture, but ultimately he is responsible for the way he treats people. One can be both a victim and a perpetrator of the quote system, as Ben calls it. The two are not mutually exclusive. Cody has been so emboldened over the years that he feels confident enough to say on national television that he determines when his wives really mean no. Yikes. Ben calls this a horrifying statement, and rightfully so. And look, Ben grew up the same way Cody did. Ben actually calls Cody his liberal uncle. And Ben isn't out here making wild statements like Cody about violating other people's personal boundaries. So again, I would argue Cody is ultimately responsible for his own behavior. I think the reason why this is such a horrifying statement to hear is because if Cody is saying this on national television about getting his wives to have more of his kids, what else is he not taking no as an answer for? Robin talked in a recent one-on-one tell-all that essentially Cody got dumped on her lap, that he had other wives that rejected him affection-wise. And a lot of us were yucked out by that statement. What exactly did Robin mean by that? Because the view from where I am sitting, it looks like Christine is saying Cody told her that he's not interested in an intimate marriage with her anymore. And we know that Cody got the ick about Mary a long ass time ago. So who exactly is Cody feeling rejected by? I don't get it. Remember back when Kody and the wives had that polygamy debate against Christine's Aunt Kristen in season 6? The topic came up about how grateful the wives were to have sister wives, so they didn't have to sleep with their husband every night. And I just loved Aunt Kristen's response.
Do you know how liberating it is to not have to sleep with him every night?
I don't have to sleep with my husband every night either, and he's not sleeping with other women when I'm not sleeping with him.
These two statements by Kody's wives, Robin claiming Kody experienced rejection by his wives affection-wise, and Mary stating how liberating it is to not have to sleep with Kody every night, makes me genuinely concerned about what the culture around consent was in these marriages. Did Kody have a sense of entitlement to his wives' bodies? If they rebuffed him, was that a cardinal sin? Ben seems to know just how horrifying this statement was that Kody made in this episode. Feeling like he wasn't told no convincingly enough to take seriously, and it seems like Ben knows this isn't just in reference to IVF. It's a larger problem with how Mormon fundamental polygamy sets up this power imbalance between a man and his wives, and how someone like Kody can seize on that opportunity to elevate themselves at other people's expenses. As always, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel. Be sure to check out my second channel, Sarah Spills. A link for that will be in the description of this video. Follow me on Instagram, Threads, and X at Reality Squad, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Have a good one. Much love.